Ignorance is strength.
Brother Dave's so-called ministry operates with the same chilling control tactics as 1984.
Hello, I'm Brother Dave.
Like Big Brother, McKay manipulates, exploits and traps his followers in a system of relentless control and deceit, all under the guise of serving God.
They are made to accept the most flagrant violations of reality because they never fully grasp the enormity of what was demanded of them.
The biggest lie, the one that sustains the entire operation, is that his followers are working for a divine cause. In reality, they are nothing more than tools in McKay's self-serving empire, slaves labouring to enrich him while believing they are serving a higher power. Just as the party in 1984 coerced obedience for the sake of power, McKay has created a world where his followers work tirelessly to distribute his books, his DVDs, and his monetarised YouTube channels. They are unpaid. They are exploited. Every penny earned, every video subscription, every book sold goes back into the machine, funding more propaganda to sustain the lie. McKay does not even shy away from stating the truth, that his followers work for him, not God.
In the long run, a hierarchical society was only possible on the basis of poverty and ignorance.
The few dollars that cover overheads like rent and fuel are nothing compared to the bulk of the money funneled back into printing for more books and producing more videos. This is not a ministry. This is a business, with McKay up the top, raking in all the money and the prestige, while his followers live in poverty, scavenging for food.
The party claimed, of course, to have liberated the proles from bondage.
The similarities to 1984 become even clearer when we look at the daily life of McKay's followers. Failure to meet quotas is met with degrading remarks, like being told they are out of spirit or they lack 144 vision. The followers compete with one another to distribute the materials, earning pitiful rewards if they meet targets, like $5 worth of pizza. This turns the group's witnessing into a competition not of faith, but of productivity. McKay has even boasted about how much his adopted Kenyan grandchildren can earn when they are sent out on the streets for a few hours each day. And they have been doing this since the tender age of 9 and even younger. This is exploitation, plain and simple, dressed up as religious devotion.
For the revolution, they had been hideously oppressed by the capitalist.
In 1984, Big Brother sets himself apart from the people, living in comfort while the masses suffer. McKay does similar. While his followers scrape by, resorting to eating out of dumpsters to survive, McKay indulges in McDonald's every day. He lives above the poverty he imposes on his followers, justifying it by claiming divine authority. Like Big Brother, McKay has constructed an image of himself as being some great leader. But the reality is far more sinister. In his propaganda videos, McKay shows himself washing toilets. But in reality, his name is never on the chores list. This deception extends even further. McKay claims to collect donations for the poor, but in truth, the money flows straight to him. He even has the audacity to declare himself poor, which in his twisted logic entitles him to the donations. He has convinced followers that he is an apostle of God deserving of their sacrifices. This shines through clearly in his ritualized ceremony of forsaking all, where new members are made to give up their best clothing and shoes, items that inevitably end up being given to McKay or a member of his direct family. In return, the new recruits are given shabby second-hand items under the guise of being humbled. This is not humility. It's the beginning of indoctrination. Just like the party methods in 1984, where citizens are stripped of their dignity, forced to accept lies as truth. The parallels to Orwell's dystopia don't end there. McKay rules with an iron fist, using constant surveillance and public shaming to maintain control. Every aspect of a follower's life is monitored, just like Winston in 1984.
The party seeks power entirely for its own sake. We are not interested in the good of others. We are interested solely in power. Not wealth or luxury or long life or happiness. Only power. Pure power.
McKay's followers are expected to police each other, encouraged to report on each other for even the most minor of infractions, like forgetting items when setting the table. Any sign of dissent is crushed in grievance meetings, where members are publicly shamed for even the smallest hint of disloyalty. Private doubts are treated as rebellion. This system ensures that no one can ever feel safe, let alone think critically. Like Orwell's world, McKay's followers live in a perpetual state of fear. Fear of punishment, fear of ostracisation, and fear of damnation.
The Platarians will never revolt. Not in 1,000 years or 1,000,000. They cannot.
Even when some do escape, one of two things will happen. Some will return, unable to break free from the psychological chains McKay has placed on them, while others are so traumatised that they vow never to speak of their experience. Alternatively, some are so fearful of McKay's vengeful nature that they remain silent in order to protect their own safety and sanity, because they know too well that McKay is a very vengeful man who will come after them. Even now, speaking to you all, I am afraid of what McKay is going to do in retaliation.
To keep them in control was not difficult. A few agents of the thought police moved always among them, spreading false rumours and marking down and eliminating the few individuals who were judged capable of becoming dangerous.
Just like in 1984, McKay's followers are tricked into thinking they have submitted to him of their own free will, totally unaware of the strings he has pulled behind the scenes. This is the true power of coercive control. For people to think that they are using their own free will, because they are so unaware of the manipulation that is occurring around them. Like Winston, who is programmed by the party to love Big Brother, McKay's followers are broken down so thoroughly they struggle to function outside of his control. McKay's followers are trapped not by physical chains, but by psychological ones.
It was not desirable that the probes should have strong political feelings. All that was required of them was primitive patriotism.
What makes this all the more tragic is the failure of Australian laws to protect these people. Human slavery laws that should be applied to McKay's operation are not enforced because there is a fundamental lack of understanding about the nature of coercive control. Their autonomy has been stripped away from them, and the capacity to think rationally has been crushed. They live in a constant state of survival mode, traumatised by years of control, surveillance and fear. PTSD is a given, as they endure the same techniques used in 1984. The erosion of self through constant pressure and manipulation. The parallels between David McKay and Orwell's Big Brother are undeniable. McKay does not follow the teachings of the Bible. He follows the rules of 1984. He uses deception, manipulation and fear to maintain control, just as Orwell's party does. His ministry is not about love, faith or service. It's about control, power and the endless pursuit of more money for himself. His followers, like Winston, are victims of a system designed to break them down, to erase their individuality and to make them slaves to a lie. And just like Orwell's dystopia, McKay's created a world with his own warped versions of the Ministry of Love, Ministry of Truth, Ministry of Peace, and Ministry of Plenty. Truths are rewritten. Love is twisted into obedience, and the only person who benefits is Brother Dave.
War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength.